Hello, everybody, and welcome to the True Love Talk channel. Here we want to learn about human sexuality and love based on the teachings that Pope John Paul II left in the Theology of the Body. I am Elisa, and today's topic is the difference between femininity and masculinity. So, let's begin. Okay, so to understand the difference between femininity and masculinity, we have to remember that sexuality is the human ability to create meaningful relationship with others based on love and respect and service, basically. And we also have to remember that sexuality unifies the three elements of the human person, which is the body, the spirit, and the soul in the common goal, which is love, right? Love is the goal of human life. This is going to make a big difference when it comes to femininity and masculinity, but because we femininity makes sense when it's faced with masculinity, and masculinity finds its essence when it's faced with femininity. But both of them, we are oriented to the other person. As human beings, we make sense in our relationship with the other person. In particular, femininity and masculinity make sense when it comes to having children. That is what's going to help us understand it better. First of all, in the element of the body, the difference we have differences between the feminine and the masculine body in the reproductive system, endocrine system, the bone and the muscle system, and the skin system, the dermic system, because it all depends whether or not the person is supposed to get pregnant or not, whether or not the person needs to widen the bones of the hips to carry a child and have very elastic skin that doesn't break easy, or that is not a need that the person has, right? And on the fact, it also femininity and masculinity can be also seen spiritually speaking. Remember that spirits are characterized by intelligence and volition. When it comes to intelligence, men have better intelligence, very better spatial and mathematical intelligence, and women have a better linguistic and intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence. Because, once again, to receive the child. If you see a couple that is receiving the child for the first time, the first thing that the mother does is this. This is my baby. And starts to talk to the baby and starts by talking with the baby and paying attention to what is the baby feeling, what is the baby needing. They are creating the emotional world, the emotional and the inner world, the personal world of that baby. And they're creating that bond. On the other hand, men don't jump to the baby because they realize that if the baby's with the mother, the baby's okay. So what I need to make sure of is that both baby and the mother are okay. And this means checking how is the environment towards them. Is there any risk? How do I manage it? And that is why spatial, spatial and mathematical intelligence has so much value or has so much importance. This doesn't mean that women do not have mathematical intelligence or that men don't understand about language. Of course not. Both men and women have all sorts of intelligence. Gardner proposes 7 kinds of intelligence, and both men and women can develop all 7 of them. And we each have like a special affinity to one kind of intelligence or the other. But let's say that men and women develop the same intelligences differently. And in women, in femininity, linguistic and intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence is going to have more a bigger weight, a bigger importance, and in masculinity, mathematical and spatial intelligence is going to be far more important, and it's going to be developed first. Okay, of course, men can do everything that women can, and women can do everything that men can. But once again, let's think about the idea of in responsible interdependence, right? It's not about having to do everything. It's about creating the relationships so that I don't have to do everything to have everything. I need everything. So yes, I need to have everything, but I need to don't have to do everything if I can create the relationships, right? I really like a study that Carol Gilligan, she's a psychologist, uh, did about how children play. And she was observing children between the ages of 4 and more or less 9 years old. Those ages when boys only play with boys and girls only play with girls because they just can't mix. They don't like it, right? At that moment, she realizes that when boys are playing and one of them cheats, they stop the game, right? Let's say one of the cheater used the hand when playing football, right? So what they say, the others tell the cheater that because of what he did, he got an extra advantage uh, over the other team, so that he has to give the other team an extra advantage, and that is what penalties are for, right? So basically, the penalty happens, and the game continues. If we go back to the idea of human beings as images of God, men and masculinity becomes the perfect image of God's justice, right? In justice, following rules is what is going to ensure us to have good relationships. And so, this way of thinking, the way that men relate, really um, helps us see how God's justice works, more or less. On the other hand, what Carol Gilligan found when girls were playing was that if a girl cheated, the game would stop, but then the discussion would not be so much as what rule was broken and why, but more of an emotional response, such as you were my best friend and I cannot believe that you could betray me this way, and I don't know if I can ever trust you again because the relationship is broken. So even if you give me back the advantage, this is something that the trust is broken and I don't know how to bond with you again. If you notice, this is a perfect example of God's mercy, because in mercy, the relationship with the other person is far more important than the rules. That is why God decided to die on the cross for us. It was so important not to lose his relationship with us that he would rather pay for our crimes than make us pay the crimes but lose us, right? That is how mercy works. And once again, it's not about children, women only thinking about mercy and men only thinking about justice. The thing is being complementary. If men can learn from women that more important than the rule is the relationship, and that sometimes it's not just about following the rules, but if we need to do exceptions to the rules to save a relationship, it's worth doing. And women have to learn that sometimes rules, not sometimes, all the time, rules rules always makes relationship easier. So once again, the idea is being different, we can be better and we can be richer without having to be able to do it all. So anyway, as you can see, if love is the goal of human existence, then having a good sexuality is what is going to allow us to have a good life. So in the next video, we're going to talk about that, how to live a good sexuality. So yep, it was great. I am very glad that you decided to stay until the end of the video. If you have any comments or any questions, please write them down in the comment section below. I will try to answer them as soon as possible. And well, see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Lots of blessings for everybody. Bye.